Welcome back! This is Baby Magical Unicorn Part 2. Last time we did the intro, and in the intro I told you everything you were going to need in order to make this project, including fabric and stuffing and sizes of hooks and the beauty decals, and we also covered making the hooves in a multi-strand crochet tutorial. It was a mini tutorial, but this is how I did the hooves for this baby unicorn, and this is how I recommend you do the hooves for yours because it makes it extra pretty. So today we're going to finish with the legs, and we're going to do his head as well. And we'll see how long that takes us, and if it doesn't take us very long, maybe we'll throw in the neck, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking. Let's go to the craft table. All right, so I hope you've gone ahead and made your 4 hooves, and now we're going to finish with the leg. So this is really, really simple, and I know you'll all be able to follow along. You're going to start, after you've finished your hooves, you're going to take your body color. Now remember, this is the Super Comfort Chunky yarn. This is the stuff we're going to use in order to make the rest of our body, and we're using a size 8mm crochet hook. And that's all you need to do the legs. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to start with a slip knot. So you make a loop, just like that. Take your hook, put it through the hole, grab your yarn and pull it back, and then pull both ends. That's your slip knot. And that's pretty basic. Most of you probably already know how to do that. Now we're going to join our yarn to our hoof with a single crochet. So you're going to, anywhere around the top, doesn't matter, you just pick a stitch to start in. So you have your loop on your hook, you insert your hook into your beginning stitch wherever you want to start it, wrap your yarn around your hook and pull it back. So you've got 2 loops on your hook, just like a single crochet, and then wrap and go through both. And that's how you attach with a single crochet. Now we're going to single crochet into the rest of the 8 all the way around. Remember that there's always, when you're joining yarn and you're continuing a row after you've sort of knotted yarn off, there's what we some of us call a fake stitch or a false stitch. This is not the stitch you want to use. It's the one right below it that you finished off the last row in. So I'm going to skip this little fake stitch, and I'm going to put it in the one just below it. And I usually start, I usually add my yarn to the stitch just before that, whenever I'm adding color to a new row. But anyway, so it looks a little funny, but it won't after you get all the way around. So that's 2. And we're going to single crochet all the way around for a total of 9 stitches, because that's how many are in this row. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. Careful not to split your yarn. That's one of the tendencies I find with the bigger, thicker yarn is it's easy to split. So just take your time. And there we go. That's 9. So once you get to the end of that row, you're just going to continue. So you're not going to join with a slip stitch. You're just going to continue in the round. So you come back to your where you first joined with a single crochet, and you're going to single crochet directly into that stitch, and you're going to continue, and you're going to put on another 4 rows. So in total, your foot will be 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and you're going to put on another 5 rows of gray. So we've just put on the first row, so you've got 4 more rows of gray to go, and then it's going to look like this when you're finished. So you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of your hoof color, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of your body color. Then you're going to slip stitch, and you're going to fasten off and leave a nice long tail, because you're going to sew the legs to the body eventually with those tails. And I will see you when you're done your 4 legs. And there you go. 4 feet and legs. Super magical, obviously. They look like they were dipped in a rainbow. All right, those are the legs. Let's get this onto the head. Okay, so now we're going to do the head. You're going to use your main body color. You're going to use your large size 8mm hook, and you're going to have some stuffing standing by because you're going to stuff this before you're finished crocheting it all together. To start with, we're going to do a cinch circle. So you wrap your yarn around your fingers, take your hook, go through the hole, grab the yarn and pull it back, and before you let go of anything, chain 1, and that is your magic circle. Into this cinch circle, we're going to single crochet 6. So 6 single crochet into your cinch circle. That is your foundation row for your baby unicorn's head. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to cinch that a little bit. And 6. There we go. Cinch. Now, I'm not joining with a slip stitch. I'm just going to continue single crocheting all the way around. This is an increase row. We're going to go from 6 to 12. So that's 2 single crochet into each stitch all the way around for a total of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, we're making a snout here, so we're going to just single crochet straight for 3 more rows. So rows 3, 4, and 5 are just going to be single crochet all the way around. And I will see you at the end of row 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just so I can a little more clearly identify where my beginning stitch is. So this is the stitch at which I turned from row 1 to row 2. This is the stitch that I use as my starting point. I just stuck one of my giant yarn needles in there, excuse me, so I can identify where that stitch is. And it's a little easier for everybody at home to see just because this is gray yarn. So I'm just coming up to the finish of my 5th row, and that is it right there. So this is the snout of our little baby unicorn, and now we're going to do a really funky sort of increase row. It's not the usual increase row because we're only increasing halfway along the row. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet 2 times into each of the next 6 stitches. So do it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so far we've single crocheted twice into each of the first 3. Now we're going to do it into the last 3. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so that's 2 single crochet into each of the first 6 stitches of row 6. Now we're going to single crochet into the last 6 stitches, just 1 each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So now I know I'm back at the beginning because this is where I can see that there's 2 single crochets into that first stitch. I'm not going to worry about evening things up just yet. I'm going to do that at the end. So rows 7 through 11, so rows 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 7 through 11, you're going to single crochet into each stitch all the way around, so each row will have 18 stitches in it. And I will see you near the end of row 11. 1, 2, just nearing the end of row 11. So this is the point at which I'm going to make sure all my rows line up with my beginning stitch, and I can count. So there's beginning row was row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is where I did the bridge of the nose or the bridge of the brow. That's where we increased 2 single crochet into each of those first 6 stitches. Then we went 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And I'm just finishing row 11 now. And I'm just coming around the bottom of what's going to be his head. And I'm just going to keep checking with my beginning stitch. A couple more to go. And just remember, everybody, it doesn't have to be perfect. This little guy is going to have plenty of personality. Okay, I am done. I am not going to put in an extra stitch there, or maybe I will. No, I'm done. Okay, that's the end of row 11. Now we're going to start closing in the back of his head. So row 12 is 2 single crochet together all the way around. So we're going to go from a total of 18 stitches. So there's 18 stitches all the way around. We're going to single crochet 2 together all the way around, and that'll leave us with 9. So here we go. This is how you single crochet 2 together. You take your hook, you go through the first stitch, grab your yarn, pull it back, go through the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull it back so that you have 3 loops on your hook, wrap around your yarn, pull it through all 3. You have just single crocheted 2 together, and it looks like sort of a monster stitch, and in this really big thick yarn it's easier to see. So we're going to go ahead and do that all the way around for row 12. So that 2 together equals 1, 2 together equals 2, 2 together equals 3, 2 together equals 4, 2 together equals 5, 2 together equals 6, 2 together equals 7, 2 together equals 8, 2 together equals 9. This is why I love to count. Okay, so that is the end of row 12. Now we're going to stuff the head. So you're going to get your stuffing, and just gonna, you know what, you can pull that loop out and use your nice big hook to squish that stuffing down into the nose. I love polyester fiberfill. This stuff's great. It's also washable, just so you know. I don't know who you're making your little baby unicorn for, but if you use polyester fiberfill and if you use acrylic yarn, it's a washable toy. And if anybody's got little munchkins that like to spit up and chew on things, and you know how great that is. Okay, so there. I'm going to need a little more stuffing, actually. Excuse me. Yes, I have a huge bag of stuffing. Okay. All right, I'm going to stuff in a little bit more towards the end. So that was the end of row 12. We've stuffed our head. Now we're going to single crochet to get 2 together 4 times. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and oops, 4. It's a little tricky with the big yarn and the big hook, but I'm just going to put in a little bit more stuffing. So I want this head to be nice and firm. So maybe a little bit more. There we go. Okay, that's good. That is one stuffed little head. All right. Now, this is where we close the hole. So we're going to slip stitch through the posts of the previous row. The post is this thing here between the stitches. So there's the 2 stitches sitting on top of my hook, and that's the post from the previous row. So to slip stitch, I'm just going to grab my yarn, pull it back through everything. Then I'm going to go into the next post and pull my yarn back through everything. And into the next post and pull it back, and into the next post and pull it back, and you'll see that it's pinching the whole thing shut, And I'm going to do it one more time. And there we go. Now I'm going to cut a nice long strand because we're going to sew the neck to the head with this string. So I'm going to take a slightly smaller crochet hook and I'm going to just put it in about where I think I'm going to line up my neck, but I can rearrange that a little later. Just grab my yarn and pull it down through the head. I'll take that thing out of his schnoz, and there you go. That is the head of our baby unicorn. So we're just going to quickly do the neck because it's not a very big thing at all, but it is done a bit differently than every other piece. We're going to start with a slip knot, and we're going to chain 10. So there's our slip knot. We're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't twist the length of the chain. You're going to bring the front or the beginning stitch around to meet up with your crochet hook, and you're going to single crochet into that first chain and into each one around. And that will be a total of 10 stitches. That's 3, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there's your foundation. Now we're going to just increase a little bit. So we're going to do the regular pattern of 2 single crochet into the first stitch, 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and repeat all the way around until you have 15. So it's a little funny. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There you go. We've got 2 more rows to do, and that's rows 3 and 4. We're going to just single crochet into each stitch all the way around, and then we're going to fasten off with a slip stitch and leave a nice long tail for sewing it to the body. So here we go. I'll see you at the end of 30 more stitches. 3. And I'm just finishing the end of row 4, and this is really obvious. So there's my little string from my original cast on. So that's obviously my first stitch. So I'm just going to single crochet up to that. I'm going to single crochet, I'm going to slip stitch into the stitch directly over top of that one, just to make it nice and even. But once again, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to leave a nice long string, and I'm going to fasten off, and that is the neck. So the bit that kind of closes in, so your top part is the part that you're going to attach to your head. Excuse me. And you're not going to attach it right at the back, remember. If you look at this little guy, there's a little bit of head arcing, so about 1, 2, 3, 4 rows from the very cast off end of his head back to where I attached it to his neck, and that just kind of gives him a sort of a horsey look, right? So we'll do the same thing, but we're only going to attach the head to the neck after the neck is attached to the body, and we're going to do the body next. Now we're going to make the body, and the body is pretty similar to much of what the other pieces are made, so we're just going to leap right into it here. We're going to start with a cinch circle, just like the head. And into that cinch circle, we're going to put 6 single crochets. So again, just like the head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cinched a little bit, and 6. Cinch it shut. The next row is an increase row. We're going to increase from 6 to 12, so we do 2 single crochet into each stitch all the way around for a total of 12. And here we go. 1, 2, 11, and 12. Row 3 is also an increase row. We're going to go from 12 to 18, and that pattern is 2 single crochets into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into the next, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way around for a total of 18. 1, 2, 3, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, row 4 is another row of increase. It's our last row of increase. We're going to go from 18 to 24. The pattern for that is 2 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2, and then 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1. All the way around, that takes you from 18 to 24. 1, 2, 1, 22, 23, 24. All right, we have now finished all of our increasing rows. For rows 5 through 11, you're going to single crochet into each stitch all the way around. So rows 5 through 11. And I will see you at the end of row 11. Okay, I'm just finishing up row 11, and just for everybody out there who can't see this, I'm just going to mark my beginning stitch. And did you just get a load of the size of that yarn needle? I don't know. I grabbed it because this is really thick yarn, and I do actually end up using it when I sew the whole thing together. I used it to sew together the first little guy, but boy, that's big. Dollar store. Just gotta love the dollar store. Okay, so I have finished row 11. Row 12 is we're going to start decreasing him now so that we get more of a body shape. So we're going to single crochet 2 together, and then we're going to single crochet 1 into the next stitch. So it's 2 together, 1, 2 together, 1, all the way around, and that's going to leave us with 18 stitches. So here we go. Single crochet 2 together, single crochet 1, single crochet 2 together, single crochet 1. That's 4. 2 together is 5. 1 is 6. 2 together is 7. 1 is 8. 2 together is 9. 1 is 10. 2 together is 11. 1 is 12. 2 together is 13. 1 is 14. 2 together is 15. 1 is 16. You know what? I may have miscounted. Anyway, I know that I'm back at the beginning of this row because I can see that that is my first double crochet 2 together, and there is my beginning stitch. So I did the right pattern. Maybe it's 16 and not 18, but or no, it should be 18. Maybe I just double counted. I don't know. Never mind me. I did the right thing. 2 together, 1, 2 together, 1, all the way around. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it's 16, from 24 to 16. All right, what do you know? What do you know about that? All right, now we're going to do a slightly funny thing, kind of like we did with the head of the unicorn. We're going to single crochet 2 together 4 times. So 2 together is 1. 2 together is 2. 2 together is 3. 2 together is 4. Now we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet 2 together, single crochet into the next stitch, single crochet 2 together, single crochet into the next stitch, and single crochet 2 together. There we go. And we're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is the correct number to have. Now, we're going to stuff the body. So I'm just going to pull out that loop a little bit, put my hook down, grab my stuffing, stuff, and just start cramming it in there. Probably sticking a bit more just towards the end. All right. Yes. Okay. Primary body stuffing accomplished. Now we're into row 14. We're going to single crochet 2 together 3 times. So here we go. That's once, twice, and 3 times. Now you're going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet. That will leave you with 6 stitches all the way around. I'm going to stick in just a little bit more stuffing. Just to make sure that this is a nice, round, tight, yes. Now, I'm going to take out my marker. Row 15 is slip stitching around each of the posts of the previous row. So remember, we go into the post, grab your yarn, pull it back. Into the next post, grab your yarn, pull it back. Into the next post, grab your yarn, pull it back. Into the next post, it's getting a little tight here, but that's okay. Grab your yarn, pull it back. You should be pretty much closed by now. And you know what? I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to snip off a little bit of a tail. I'm going to fasten off, and I'm going to use this fantastically gigantic yarn needle, and I'm just going to weave my end in through any of the little holes that are left behind, just to sort of cinch up any of the little bit of space that's left. And this is why it's good to have a big heavy duty yarn needle around for projects just like this. And once I think I've covered enough of the little holes, then I will bury the tail in the rest of it. And that looks pretty good to me. I had a little bump in my yarn here. Yeah. Good. All right. Into the body with you. There. And that is the body. Now, what you should notice, and if it doesn't, it's okay, but what you should notice is that your body goes up a little bit. And that, to me, looks a bit more like a horse tush, a horse tush, than just a round cylinder. So I kind of wanted to give the idea that there was a like a high shank, if that's the right word for the horse. And then we're going to go ahead and attach all of our legs. Remember to stuff your legs. And you're just going to place them where you think they're best situated on the bottom of your pony. And then you're going to sew them down. All right, sewing on your legs, as you can probably tell if you've been sort of fiddling with them, there's not a lot of space at the bottom of the body. So all 4 of them are pretty much going to go in a line with each other. So what you want to do is sort of pick where you're going to put one. And I've got this one all ready to go. Line it up. Make sure you're, yeah, that's good. Put it just off to the side. For example, the other one would sit right up against it that way. Hold it in place. Thread your long tail through your yarn needle and just start picking it up just like we've done with any of the other little projects where we've sewn something on. Try to get it all the way through the whole stitch. The first few stitches are going to be the most difficult. Remember to try and keep it in the alignment that you want. The first couple stitches through it, and then it'll be really easy after that. Alright, once you get back round to the beginning, I'm going to take my needle and my yarn. I'm just going to bring it through to a common hole out the front and just pull it out, because I'm going to do the same thing with the other string on the other leg when I'm finished, and I'm going to knot the two and tuck the tails back into the body. I'm going to do the same thing back here with the other two legs, and then all four legs will be on, and I'll see you at the end of the four legs. Alright, there are the four legs all sewn into place, and you'll see how close they all are together in there. So if it feels a little tight, like you're working really tightly, you are, because it's a small, but the whole point of that is that you're creating a nice firm base for your super adorable little baby to stand on. So there's my tush. Here's the front, the chest of my baby unicorn. And now we're going to put the neck on. So the neck, I sew it on, and then I stuff it. And then we put the head on top of that. So, oh my god, I just love how bunty this is. I crocheted this one really tightly, and you can tell. I was so excited that my crocheting was a lot tighter than I was when I made this guy. And that is so typical of me. This is sort of my crochet while I'm thinking, and I'm thinking my way through a pattern, and then I know the pattern and I'm super excited about it, and it comes out nice and tight. And you know what? I think I might even like the way this guy turns out even better than this one, because he's going to be all bunty. Anyway, you're going to take your neck and you're going to just place it somewhere on top of your body. This is so cute. And you're just going to hold it in place, and you're going to sew it down. And the first few stitches are going to be the troublesome ones, but just take your time. And I'm going to just get the first one on and reposition it. Yep. And I have to lay it down here. Pick up those stitches. And that's the second one. Pick it up, reposition. Yep. Oh my goodness. And I'll pick up that. Yeah, I'll just pick up that stitch first, and then I'll pick up this. That's a little easier. There you go. See, learning as I go. And reposition. Yep. Okay, I'm almost nearing the end here. And just going to make sure this continues to be, I can just pull it into a little bit of a, I got one more stitch put in here. There we go. Okay, so that's the neck on. Now we're going to just knot this. It's a nice tight knot. I'll just pull that through to the inside in a good spot. There, just weaving it in. In you go. There, good. All right. Okay, so that's the neck. Now we're going to stuff it. And you want to make sure you stuff it nice and tight. Nice and firm, I should say, because it's going to have to hold up the head of our baby unicorn, which is not exactly heavy, but it's not exactly light. You don't want it flopping forward all the time. And remember, you're going to put the hair on, which is also going to add some weight to it too. So I think that's about all the stuffing the neck can take. All right, the very last thing that we're going to do today is put on the head. And remember, we took that tail that we closed off the back of the head with, we took it and we brought it down to the bottom of the head. And we're just going to, I'm going to look at it now and decide whereabouts I want to anchor it. And I think, oh my gosh, I think this is so cute. I think that's about perfect. So I'm just going to bring it down one more row. So instead of bringing it out at that row, I'm going to bring it out at that row. There we go, right like that. And I'm just going to sew it all the way around the neck. I'm going to use the neck as the guide, and I'm going to do much like I did with the neck, putting it on the body. I'm going to put in a couple stitches, make sure it's still aligned properly, put in a few more stitches, make sure it's still aligned properly, get all the way back to here, knot it a couple times, and weave it in. And I will spare you the agony of watching me wrestle with this thing while I sew the head down. Okay, so there are all of the body parts all strung together. He's nice and solid. He stands upright. I know he looks a little giraffe-y at the moment, but if you'll look at this one, if once you get the mane on, the mane sort of stretches down the back of the head. Oh, thank you very much. The mane stretches down the back of the head and then across the neck. Now, when we make the mane for our unicorns, we can make it a little bit longer. You can make this as long as you like. I kind of had a boy in mind, even though I gave him super bright pink hair, but hey, I'm not sexist. I had a little boy in mind, so I gave him sort of a slightly shorter mane, but you can make these little curls really, really long, and you can also make the mane go all the way down the length of the neck, and that will definitely make him look more horse-like. Plus, thank you, once we get the ears and the corn on, and his tail, and his little beauty decals. Oh, which by the way, you guys can go ahead and put your decals on because they're not going to interfere with the tail, and it might even be easier if you put your decals on first before we put the tail on. But anyway, there you go. That's part 2 of the magical baby unicorn, and we will see you guys shortly for part 3. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye!